Let's start with a number, $1.8 trillion. According to the United States Treasury, that's the value of one of America's greatest financial assets. It's not held in Fort Knox. It's not a stockpile of resources. It's you. It's listed on the federal balance sheet as loans receivable, primarily student loans. Your promise to pay, your future labor, your ambition, quantified, packaged, and held as a sovereign asset. This isn't a debt crisis. This is the financial capture of a generation. They built this cage in plain sight, in 3 acts. Act 1, they dismantled the public good. Over 4 decades, state funding for public colleges cratered, and when public investment vanished, tuition didn't just rise, it rocketed over 1,200% while wages flatlined. They created a funding chasm. Act 2, they offered the only bridge across, limitless federal loan dollars. Colleges, knowing the money would follow, raised prices again. This is the Bennett hypothesis. Not a theory, but a profit model. They gave you a loan to solve a problem they created with the loan. Act 3. You sign. You become on their ledger an asset, a performing asset. And the terms of your performance are mathematically designed to ensure you never truly own your life. Let's run the numbers they don't put on the FAFSA form. The average graduate. Starting salary, $49,000. Take-home pay, about $3,300 a month. Now, the mandatory servicing fee for being alive, rent, $1,300, car, insurance, gas, $500 utilities, phone, $300 groceries, $350 health insurance, $150, and the premium for the privilege of your degree. Federal student loan payment, $400 total left, $150 for everything else, for savings, for a crisis, for a life. Financial security requires saving at least 20% of your income, about $660 a month. The gap between what you have and what you need is $510. That $510 gap is the physical space of your freedom, and every month it is transferred from your possibility to their balance sheet as a guaranteed return. This is the real toll. We are a generation living in escrow. Homeownership, delayed an average of 7 years. Retirement savings, for millions, it's 0. Starting a family? The birth rate for millennials with debt has plummeted. Starting a business? Entrepreneurship for young adults is at a 40-year low. The mental health epidemic, the chronic anxiety, that's not a side effect. It's the logical outcome of a system that treats your future as collateral. And if you fail to perform, the enforcement is brutal, wage garnishment, seized tax refunds, a credit score destroyed for 7 years. This isn't education financing. This is predatory governance. Demanding the wholesale cancellation of a $1.8 trillion federal asset may be emotionally satisfying, but it is politically inert. It hits a wall. So we must be smarter. We must change the fundamental math and rewrite the rules of the game itself. The goal is not to erase a number, but to dismantle the trap and repurpose the machinery. We don't just want a deduction from the liability column. We need a strategic investment in the human potential column. Here's the new calculus. 1. The automatic safety valve, income-driven repayment, redeemed. We replace the Byzantine punishing IDR system with a clean, automatic, and unforgiving rule. No payment ever exceeds 5% of discretionary income, and forgiveness arrives after 10 years of payments, not 20 or 25. This is not a loophole, it's a fire break. It ends the open-ended sentence and guarantees that debt is a manageable phase of life, not its defining feature. The government's asset becomes a time-limited investment in your productivity, not a claim on your lifetime earnings. 2. The incentive flip. The state funding match. We stop rewarding states for disinvestment. We institute a federal tuition stabilization match. For every $1 a state cuts per student from its public higher education budget, $1 is withheld from its federal infrastructure or discretionary funds. This reverses the perverse incentive overnight. States will realign around funding education, or they will pay for it directly. This attacks the problem at the source. 3. The public investment pipeline, expanded and accelerated public service forgiveness. We transform public service loan forgiveness from a bureaucratic nightmare into a powerful, streamlined national service fellowship. We expand eligible fields to all critical shortages, teaching, nursing, mental health, social work, clean energy tech, and shorten the term to 5 years of service. In return for this essential work, you earn not just a salary, but your freedom. The government's asset is converted directly into tangible public good. 4. The Innovation Convertible Entrepreneurship Vouchers. Here, we turn debt into fuel. We create a program where validated business plans for new, job-creating ventures can convert a portion of federal student debt into a secured seed grant. The government exchanges a passive financial asset for an active equity stake in American innovation and job creation. Your debt doesn't vanish. It pivots into the capital you were denied. 5. The Predator Exclusion Rule. Any institution, especially for-profit colleges, whose graduates consistently fail to earn enough to repay their loans, loses all access to federal aid. Immediately. We stop using public debt to finance private failure. The asset portfolio must be curated for performance, not predation. This is not about a one-time deletion. It's about a systemic rewrite. We move from being liabilities on their balance sheet, risks to be managed, to being the nation's most valuable equity. The old contract said, "We lend, you owe, and your potential is our collateral." The new covenant must say, "We invest in your potential, and you pledge to build a society worthy of that investment." They financialized our futures. Our task is to democratize that financialization, to turn the instrument of our captivity into the engine of our collective prosperity. The fight is no longer for forgiveness. The fight is for transformation, to convert a $1.8 trillion hostage note into a deed for our common future. And that is a fight worth waging.